Ticker symbol M for Macy's. Looks like it could be prepping for a very nice upside continuation here. Let's go ahead and get started with the potentials. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is ARCa coming at you with a ticker symbol M, actually raw price action and technicals, right? So before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we are looking at Macy's on the daily chart here. And the reason why we're looking at the daily chart first is because I would like to show you that when charting or when paying attention to tickers like this, it has a lot to do with the broader markets, right? So let's just go ahead and pull up the SPY, right? So pulling up the SPY, you can actually see, or the S&P 500, right? You can actually see that there's a direct correlation between the price action of Macy's in conjunction with the broader markets, right? So it's important to keep in mind the broader markets too when this price action of Macy's is doing its thing, right? But immediately you can see that there's a clear inverse correlation here, right? So it looks like it looks like Macy's decoupled from the broader markets spectrum for a bit, but I would like to show you something now. Okay, so let's just go ahead and kind of zoom in as much as we can here, because there could be a signal of that correlation finally beginning or starting again, right? So let's just go ahead and take a look at these pivot points, right? So let me just do something like this and bring it down. Okay, so this peak right here, that actually shows that this is this very large wick bottom here. And then we did this chop zone, right? We have a chop zone there, and we have a nice upside candle with a nice upside, upside trajectory here from the broader markets too. So it appears as such that Macy's is back to coupled alongside the market. So in order for us to also see the potentials of the upside, then we have to also kind of keep in mind to chart the SPY or the S&P 500. Okay, so in fact, the broader markets are looking pretty bullish right now, and there could be a continuation to the way up. And I believe that there are some macro fundamentals to kind of keep in mind as well. Okay, so let's just go ahead and take a look at some obvious things first. Okay, so on the daily chart, MACD, we're getting that very positive cross right here. We're getting that bull pressure with those the green histogram in the background. Very nice. Please notice here on the stochastic momentum versus money flow index that we actually have stochastics pivoted with an upside and the histogram in the back, which represents money flow, definitely looking very blue, okay, and turning into cyan. So that is actually a signal that there is an inflow of cash coming in. And another thing is that you can see here on DMI that the bulls are starting to make their way towards the upside. Okay, so this, as soon as we start crossing upside of the bears, and we have ADX, which is the directional movement index, if we have that at 30% or above, that would indicate a very strong trend for the current leaders, and it would actually be the bulls in that case. Okay, so one more thing to notice here is that in volatility versus momentum, we actually are in critical contraction right now, which could actually start pivoting towards the upside, which would be indicative of more volume being traded, right? So as soon as we do get that upside pivot on the daily, right, with the moving average towards the upside too, paired with stochastic momentum with an upside pivot, of which we already have, this can actually lead to a very, very attractive upside. Okay, you guys, so let's go ahead and now start looking at momentum versus volatility in the shorter time frames. Okay, so let's look at the 30-minute. We should face a downside, actually. There you go. So yeah, we have a little bit of a downside pressure here on volatility, on momentum, right, with decreasing volatility as well. Okay, so that usually means that the immediate short-term time frame is potentially allowing another kind of let's just call it an entry zone, right? So 30-minute MACD as well, showing a little bit of weakness, right? We definitely want that weakness. All right, so let's go ahead and now move on to the bi-hourly time frame. Okay, so the bi-hourly is still suggesting upside here, and you can see that volatility is actually now in the critical volatility zone of 90% and increasing. Okay, so this is showing that there is still bull activity in the immediate short-term time frame. MACD agreeing with that as well. Okay, let's move on to the 6-hour time frame and see what we have. Okay, 6 hour time frame coming. Look at this. This is what I was talking about. So we want critical contraction. We definitely want the moving average and the spectrum line, which represents volatility itself, pivoted towards the upside. So remember that volatility is direction neutral. Okay, so when we're coming down like this, that usually means that there's less volume traded. When we're going up like this, that means that there is more volume traded. So that's why volatility expansion is fully expanded. Volatility contracted is very tight and no volume being traded. Okay, so in this case, the 6 hour time frame is already at a very healthy position, very, very healthy. And why I say that is because we usually need two, actually, I would say about 3 total signals, but 2 of which are very critically important. The moving average pivoted towards the upside and the spectrum line pivoted towards the upside and beyond the 15 percentile of volatility alongside upside pivots of both the EMA3 and the SMA14 of the stochastic momentum. Okay, that criteria is met. This is now a statistical play. I haven't done any backtest of this thing, right? But it would take a significant amount of time to backtest every single iteration to where that criteria has met, right? But this is actually kind of, in a sense, blatantly obvious that it could lead to a pretty nice upside. Okay, and now notice the MACD with an absolute moonshot right here, increasing bull pressure. And notice that the ADX is sitting at a 21% while the bulls are leading on top. Okay, so this is essentially telling us that the shorter time frames of volatility versus momentum are going to start cascading into the longer time frame. So now the 8 hour, here it is. We're starting to get the leading indicator with an upside pivot. Please notice here that the volatility is actually starting to expand right now, right? So as soon as we do get that moving average upside of the 15 percentile, and it's already above the 10 percentile, which is very good, that can actually indicate for a further potential continuation to the way up. Okay, you guys notice here that the ADX is sitting at a massive 28% while the bulls are about to take control over the bears. This is absolutely bullish, you guys. And this ticker is actually more of a pick, right? So to be very clear with you, it was actually my brother who actually asked me to take a look at ticker symbol Macy's, right? So in fact, this thing is definitely poised and kind of prepped, right, for a pretty nice upside continuation here. We're going to start looking at those targets now. Very nice here. Check this out, you guys. 12-hour time frame, volatility versus momentum, upside of the 15% with that upside pivot. We have both of the EMA3 and the SMA14 in the bullish control zone with an upside pivot. We definitely have 32% ADX, which is the average directional index, and the bulls are starting to take over the bears here. MACD facing straight to the moon. Guys, this is very significant. Everything is leading to a pretty nice upside here for ticker symbol ticker symbol M, right? So now, immediate short-term time frame. Let's look at that pullback. Okay, so now regarding the RSI, yeah, we can see that we're in the gravitational zone of the overbought percentile. Very likely for us to come back down and potentially find a very, very short-term support. Okay, so now let's see the RSI no, not the bi-hourly. Let's look at the hourly. Okay, so the hourly is getting close to finding that support here. That is also indicating that downside. Okay, so yeah, we could actually face an upside continuation on this, maybe even into mid-session tomorrow. Okay, so after a downside. Okay, so in a very discretionary manner, I can already see that potential drop coming into a range. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put that down just like this. So that range could actually lead to, let's see, the space of about 1535 to, I would actually have to favor a couple candles here. Yeah, I would say about 1541. So this candle here, tiny little one there. Obviously this one right over here, these and this, right? So, and of course a couple of the ones from our immediate short term. Okay, so that could be the target where we can actually face a support. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, it would be just under the SMA 10 on the hourly. Okay, so no problem there. Okay, you guys. So let's take an immediate short term fib and see if we can actually get that to show us something, right? So we'll take a fib retracement from this wick high to wick low range. Okay, so just like this, and let's see what we have. Okay, so yeah, very curious that we're getting that one spot 618 right at 1536, and we're suggesting a discretionary target of 1535. Very likely for us to touch that target. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and make a drawing here for that 1536 and just make sure that we can actually keep a close eye on that target, because that could be something for an opportunity there. Okay, you guys, so yeah, let's go ahead and keep this in mind. The next thing to kind of take a look at would be the upside targets, right? So since we are feeling the bias towards the hourly time frame, then we would honestly have to kind of favor the hourly time frame too. So remember that there is a downside to look at here. Okay, so if there is a secondary downside to kind of look at, I'm not sure that I can actually favor this all entirely, right? But there is a range to keep in mind. Okay, so it would be the bottom side of this candle here, which actually already has a lot of confluence now with two spot 618 at 1518. This candle low here is about 1520. So naturally, we're going to favor the fib ratio at about that 1518, right? Just like this here. I know I just kind of put it at that 1517, but it's all good. So, and then to the low end of this candle here, right? So we'll just go ahead and note it like this. Okay, you guys, so this is that range 1518 to about 1524, and the upper range bound would be that 1536 to about 1541. Okay, you guys, so two areas of support that we can look at for a long position, okay? But as soon as if we don't recover from this zone quickly, you guys, this could be an invalidation zone, okay? Because these wick highs right here and this wick, we don't want to fail those to the downside. If I'm talking about if we face a very nice upside bounce and immediately succeed the upside of these, then yes, we can continue on the potential upside trajectory here. Okay, so now the next area of resistance is actually located right up here. I'm not sure if we can actually just beat this all in one shot, but it is there. Okay, so now if you were to look at the opportunity from, let's just say from this target here, from the 1536, right? That's only showing us about a 3% move to the upside. But if we start making moves from maybe the 2 spot 618 to that upside, then we're looking at about a 4% move. Okay, so hourly time frame is showing us that there is a very, very small area to kind of keep in mind, right? So now, because that's a very tiny gain, I know that that's not what the bears or bulls are looking for. They're in fact for both, actually, bears and bulls. Okay, they're looking for higher higher valuations to short from, and also higher valuations to take profit on, right? So in this case, let's go ahead and now take a natural fib, right? So just like this to the range height or the range low, the absolute range height or range low. Okay, so now let me see the 1 spot 618 at 1630. Very, very confluent targets, as it would lead to this very bottom right over here in conjunction with that 1 spot 618 all the way to the right over there at 1630. We definitely have to keep that in mind, you guys, because that would be a range bound long target, right? So something along the lines of this right over here would be that, right? So to the bottom side of this red candle here would be where we would favor it. Okay, so now let's see if we can if we have any improvement from our positions, right? So to the top side, you're looking at about a 7% gainer. If we did gain some type of a long position here, then it starts looking a little better, right? So that would be almost an 8% gainer from this target here. And if we were to continue past this zone now, you guys, it would be leading into the swing trade, maybe 2 to 3 day area, right? And that would be in confluence to these top sides right over here, which is very, very much in line with the 2 spot 618, right? So we're gonna make a drawing from the wick low, this wick low here, up to the 2 spot 618. In this case, now we have actually some pretty nice targets to look at, right? So something, let's just say that we get it from that 1536, right? So now you can see that this leads into a 12% move to the upside, to the bottom side, and then it would lead to about almost a 13% move to the upside there. Okay, so these would be the targets to kind of look out for. Ticker symbol M is actually presenting a pretty nice opportunity for us. Okay, you guys, and I honestly, to be completely transparent, I will long this, and I will more than likely swing this and not day trade it. Okay, you guys, but please remember first and foremost that I am not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell or hold actually any assets whatsoever. Okay, you guys, I need you to do your own due diligence and everything will be cool. But with that said, I wish you well, a very, very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.